Federal skilled worker. Part of express entry. A federal skilled worker is a person who has a certain degree of education, work experience, and knowledge of at least one of Canada's official languages, English or French. A skilled worker is assessed against a point system. Points are awarded for the listed factors, plus other factors such as age, authorized employment experience in Canada, authorized post-secondary studies in Canada, spouse or common law partner's education, having a spouse or common law partner or blood relative, not a cousin, who is a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident of Canada. Applicants for this immigration category must have sufficient funds to support themselves and their family members for at least 6 months after arriving in Canada. Becoming a Canadian permanent resident under the Federal Skilled Worker class. Canada encourages immigration by people with education and work experience that will both benefit the Canadian economy and allow you to succeed in their new home. Applicants are chosen based on a points scale that determines the likelihood that you'll be able to adapt to Canadian life. The scale takes into account factors including your work experience, knowledge of the English or French languages, your education, as well as other criteria. The points scale has been incorporated into Canada's express entry system. Entering Canada as a skilled worker is different than getting a Canadian work permit. When you successfully apply for the Federal Skilled Worker Program, you are granted permanent residence, meaning that you can live in Canada indefinitely and eventually apply for Canadian citizenship if you choose to do so. A work permit is only valid for a limited period of time, after which you must apply to stay in Canada under a different program or leave the country. Processing time. The processing time for your Federal Skilled Worker application is targeted at 6 months. However, this is just an average, and incomplete applications can take longer. Costs of this process. In addition to the legal fees paid to a consultant or lawyer to assist you with this process, the applicant must also pay a fee to the Canadian government for filing their application. Processing fee. Principal applicant. Amount per person, $550 Canadian. Each family member aged 22 or older. Amount per person, $550 Canadian. Each family member under age 22 who is unmarried and not in a common law relationship, $150 Canadian. And the right of permanent residence fee, which will be requested by the visa office at a later stage if your application is approved. Right of permanent residence fee. Principal applicant. Amount per person, $490 Canadian. Spouse or common law partner. Amount per person, $490 Canadian. Please note you do not have to pay the right of permanent residence fee for your dependent children. Government application fees are subject to change at any time without notice and are not refundable from IRCC, regardless of whether the application is approved. Federal Skilled Worker Basic Requirements. To apply for the Federal Skilled Worker Program, there are minimum requirements for work experience, education, financial ability, and language. You must have at least 1 year of continuous work experience in your field which you're using to apply for permanent residence, and this work experience must have been within the last 10 years. Have work experience in a managerial, professional, or technical occupation. If you're not sure if your work experience meets the requirement, contact us or post a question in the comments. Meet the minimum language requirement in either French or English. Have completed secondary, high school, or post-secondary, college or university in Canada, or have completed a comparable degree program outside Canada with a valid Educational Credential Assessment, ECA. Be able to show that you have enough money to support yourself and your family once you get to Canada. Once you have met the minimum cutoff for your draw, for example, 450 CRS points out of a possible 1,200. If you're applying as a federal skilled worker, you are then assessed according to your selection factors, which are graded on a scale of 100. The minimum necessary is 67 points out of 100. However, getting 67 out of 100 points, in addition to meeting the minimum CRS cutoff, does not necessarily guarantee you an invitation to apply. ITA. The higher above 67 that you can score on your selection factors, the more likely you are to get an ITA. The selection factors for the Federal Skilled Worker FSW stream are graded as follows. Language. First official language level. CLB 9 or higher. Speaking point 6. Listening point 6. Reading point 6. Writing point 6. CLB 8. Speaking points 5. Listening points 5. Reading points 5. Writing points 5. CLB 7. Speaking points 4. Listening points 4. Reading points 4. Writing points 4. Below CLB 7. Not eligible to apply for Federal Skilled Worker. Second official language points. Minimum points in all 4 skills. NCLC CLB 5, 4 points. NCLC CLB 4, 0 points. Maximum points 24. Education. Education level. Points. PhD degree 25 points. Master's or professional degree 23 points. 2 or more Canadian post-secondary degrees, at least one of which is at least 3 years in length or equivalent, 22 points. Canadian post-secondary degree of at least 3 years or equivalent, 21 points. Canadian post-secondary degree or diploma of 2 years or equivalent, 19 points. Canadian post-secondary degree or diploma of 1 year, 15 points. Canadian secondary school diploma, 5 points. Maximum points 25. Work experience. 1 year, 9 points. 2 to 3 years, 11 points. 4 to 5 years, 13 points. 6 or more years, 15 points. Maximum points 15. Age. Under 18, 0 points. 18 to 35, 12 points. 36, 11 points. 37, 10 points. 38, 9 points. 39, 8 points. 39, 8 points. 40, 7 points. 41, 6 points. 42, 5 points. 43, 4 points. 44, 3 points. 45, 2 points. 46, 1 point. 47 years of age and older, 0 points. Maximum points, 12. Additional points. Additional points awarded for valid full-time job offer from Canadian employer before you apply for FSW, 10 points. Spouse partner CLB4 or NCLC4, 5 points. 2 or more years of study at a secondary or post-secondary school in Canada, 5 points. Spouse partner 2 or more years of study at a secondary or post-secondary school in Canada, 5 points. 1 year valid full-time work in Canada at NOC Skill Type 0 or NOC Skill Type Level A or B, 10 points. Spouse or partner 1 year full-time work in Canada, 5 points. Relatives over 18 years old living in Canada as a citizen or PR, 5 points. Maximum points for these additional factors, 20. Maximum 10 points for all factors other than a job offer. If you aren't sure whether you meet the requirements or if you would like more information on the requirements themselves, contact us at info@imigroup.com. The provinces and territories of Canada offer skilled worker programs as well. Learn about those programs at imigroup.com or ask us in the comments. IRCC selection process for Federal Skilled Worker Programme. FSW applicants are selected through Canada's Express Entry system. This is how you apply. 1. Create a profile at IRCC's website. 2. If your score is high enough, receive your invitation to apply through one of the bi-monthly draws. 3. Apply for the Federal Skilled Worker Programme. 4. Receive a decision on your FSW application. We provide a detailed breakdown of the Comprehensive Rating System CRS on immigroup.com. Please note that the standards for each of the 3 economic immigration programs are different, so it is possible that the candidates in the pool with lower scores will receive invitations if they qualify for the Federal Skill Trades Program instead. Do you have sufficient funds to apply for permanent residence in Canada under the Federal Skilled Worker Program? You have to show that you have enough money in your possession to support all of your family members, even if they will not come with you to Canada. This money cannot be borrowed from another person. The amount of money you need is based on the number of family members you have. Number of family members, 2019 amount. 1 family member, $12,669 Canadian dollars. 2 family members, $15,772 Canadian dollars. 3 family members, $19,390 Canadian dollars. 4 family members, $23,542 Canadian dollars. 5 family members, $26,701 Canadian dollars. 6 family members, $30,114 Canadian dollars. 7 family members, $33,528 Canadian dollars. Each additional family member, $3,414 Canadian dollars. The cost of living is very different in different places within Canada. IRCC recommends that you bring as much money as you can. Family members. For the purpose of a federal skilled worker application, family members means the applicant's spouse or common law partner, your dependent children, and their dependent children. Spouse means either of the 2 people, opposite or same sex, who enter into a legal marriage either inside or outside of Canada. Common law partner means either of the 2 people, opposite or same sex, living in the same house in a conjugal relationship for at least 1 year. Dependent children means the children of the applicant or their spouse or common law partner who are 22 years or younger and single, or financially dependent on the parent since before 22 years old and still in school, or financially dependent since before 22 years old due to a medical condition.